Hi, we're the Sisters of Mercy.
And you're listening to Lokaos Rock Show.
E o Lokaos aproveita a passagem dos Sisters of Mercy aqui em São Paulo, no Brasil, para bater um papinho com eles. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Well, very good.
I want you to introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name's Chris Catalyst and I play guitar.
Ben Christo and I play guitar.
Andrew, I do the singing, most of it.
Andrew and guys, welcome back to Brazil, São Paulo, once and again. Andrew, I know that you speak like every single language known to man. I want to know if you... almost. Do you learn something through your trips down to Brazil?
Language? No. No.
But you can understand Portuguese?
Well, I speak a little Spanish and I used to speak a lot of Italian. So it's not so hard.
Sisters of Mercy, have been around since late 70s. And the music industry is totally different now. From the local lead scene to YouTube and torrents. I want to know what do you think has interfered most in your career?
Interfered?
Yeah.
I think the decision to produce our own records when we finally were able to was a big thing. We made the early records ourselves, then we signed up with a record company and we did not get to produce the first album, so that one doesn't really feel like ours. The rest does.
And there's a plenty of very young Sisters of Mercy fan, and still Music magazine insists categorizing the band as a nostalgia act. Why is rock music being sold as a nostalgia act these days? Are we in such dire need of meaningful bands?
Probably. I don't know. The nostalgia thing doesn't really appeal to us. We have to play a certain number of recorded songs when we play concerts, but half our set on any evening is usually unrecorded material. We prefer to look forward.
I suppose it's more to do with an era thing, and to some degree it is to do with people understand a band often by its record releases rather than its live presence, which perhaps is an anachronism or is perhaps just a staple component of people's consumption of music. And because the last record was in the early 90s, if the records are continued to be produced, perhaps the attitude would be different. But we see being a band as all sorts of activity in addition to recording albums, about producing new music, playing live, very importantly. And we don't see why there should be any distinction between the validity of a band. Is it if being an album producing band is more valid than being a live concert band?
And we're really not interested in the fashion aspect. And I think a lot of yes, I think you find a lot of the nostalgia critique comes from people who focus on fashions that we really don't understand.
The other thing I'd say to all of them two's points is that even the old songs are quite often given a bit of a mash in when we play them live, because I've been in the band, what is it now, 6 years, 7 years, 5 years, something like that, and so sometimes songs are due for a bit of an overhaul, and I've only been doing it for a quarter of the time that Andrew's been doing it. So I think the band can be forgiven for occasionally reinterpreting some of the older songs,
I like some of the old songs a lot, but I couldn't sing them the same way for 30 years. That's just not possible.
Especially in an era where most bands only last 3 years, never mind 30.
And Sisters of Mercy always managed to get a great result mixing organic play and technology. Now that digital technology has taken over studio techniques in live performance, what can you see in the future for live music?
It's very hard to play a guitar without playing a guitar, so we're safe.
I read a good quote from Johnny Marr at the Smiths the other day. You don't get you don't really get people coming up to you after gigs going, "Oh, I love the sound of your laptop." You know, I think there's always going to be guitars. I think there's always going to be live instruments.
And you guys debut a lot of new materials on stage, but not properly released album since 1993, right? And why? There's something about it?
I'm sure if you gave us $1 million, we would.
Do you have any recording studio of I Have Slept with All the Girls in Berlin and We Are the Same Suzanne, or will it ever be released?
It's possible. We have little bits of things, but we're very bad at finishing them because there's no real reason to at the moment. We do very nicely the way we are.
And Gary Marks released the solo album that supposedly began as a collaboration of you two, right? How did this partnership begin?
Supposedly is the key word there.
Supposedly?
Supposedly. Not by me, supposed. No.
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 As Sister of Mercy got bigger and bigger, I want to know if did you get any backlash from your early hardcore fans who felt that maybe you guys became too mainstream?
Yes. And there are always people that want us to sound like we did in whenever, a long time ago, or 10 years ago. Everybody has their favourite songs, and people do get very disappointed.
I suppose that's pretty much the same for any band, because I'm sure you yourself, once you were into a band and they were quite sort of underground, and then as they become more mainstream, you feel like you're losing your connection with that band, whether that's a perceived connection or a real one. The bigger a band becomes and the more other people like it, for some people that makes them feel less and less like it's something which belongs to them, and more that's something that just everyone likes and isn't personal to them. So I think that's not necessarily anything specific with this band. It seems to be across the board with a lot of rock, especially rock bands, where the fan is so passionate that if they feel like they're losing touch because the band's becoming too popular, it's because it's so integral to their identity. If everyone likes the band that they like, sometimes it can affect how much they still feel like they're connected with that band.
Yeah. One final question. I want to know if you guys playing somewhere in the globe, and after the concert, George Bush come over the dressing room, drunk as a skunk, wearing a cowboy hat, and asking you to autograph his Bible. How would you react?
That's when I reach for my revolver.
I think he said it all there.
All the same.
I think he said it all there.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. A pleasure talking to you guys. Yeah. And you guys want to say something to your Brazilian fans?
I'm sure you do.
Thanks so much for supporting us over the years. We always enjoy coming here.